Well, hello there. This video is primarily about magnesium. So, firstly, magnesium is a mineral and we need it in large amounts within the body. So, it's a mineral needing in large amounts. I like to obviously my diet is very high in magnesium anyways, but I also like to supplement with magnesium before going to bed because it helps regulate your neurotransmitters, it helps to regulate your mood, it helps to relax you and so on and so forth. We'll get into these sort of things a bit later, but it's important to know that it supports and regulates your neurotransmitters. And neurotransmitters are they essentially just coordinate your behavior. They either tell you that you should do something, it stimulates an action, makes you want to do things that you know are good for you, and it also can inhibit an impulse. So if you suddenly want to do something you know it's not good for you, it can kind of help you to control that. So and you're making sure that your neurotransmitters work well is absolutely crucial for really your self-esteem and your making sure you do the right things and that you stay away from the things that are harmful and so on and so forth, which makes sense, but it's not necessarily the way in which most people live. But anyway, that's a whole different thing. So it regulates your neurotransmitters. It can actually boost physical performance. Because what happens is during physical activities, your body actually needs magnesium between 10 to 20% more, because you essentially need to be able to move blood sugar into the muscles, and that's what it essentially supports with, and it does it better when we've got more magnesium in our bodies and so on and so forth. So it can boost your physical performance. It also can prevent migraines. Oh, misspelled migraines. It can also reduce inflammation. It reduces chronic inflammation, which you can also do by eating things like wild salmon, dark chocolate, and so on and so forth, which is quite high in magnesium as well. And we'll move on to the food sources later. But it does help to reduce inflammation, and chronic inflammation leads to diseases. Because what happens is when you've got chronic inflammation, it's just your body's response and way of dealing with the negative substances that are released from your white blood cells over time because of having a poor diet, for instance. And your body doesn't know how to react to these substances, and it kind of reacts by just enlarging and swelling up and so on and so forth. That's what we call chronic inflammation. It will over time deteriorate and ruin the tissues in your body, and also inevitably your internal organs as well. I know, doom and gloom, but this is life. So consuming magnesium will actually help to reduce this level of inflammation, essentially support your body's functioning as well, which is obviously very, very important to us. What else can magnesium do? It can help fight depression, because and one of the ways in which it can do that is because it stimulates the activity of GABA, and GABA is a very powerful mood modulator. It's an inhibitor, which kind of means that it calms you down. It's a very powerful neurotransmitter. And so consuming magnesium helps the way in which our body utilizes GABA, making sure that we sleep better and so on and so forth, making sure that we're in a better mood, we do the right things. It prevents us from becoming like restless, anxious, stressed, and these sort of things. So, and these are the sort of things that lead to depression, when you become really anxious, when you become quite sad, when you become quite frustrated, and so on and so forth. These are the small signs that will inevitably lead to what is known as depression, and this is what it fights, which is absolutely wonderful for us. So as you can see, there are a plethora of benefits that derive from consuming magnesium, along with many, many more. So some food sources are things like pumpkin seeds, things like spinach, dark chocolate, things like mackerel, things like wild salmon, avocados, and nuts such as walnuts and almonds, and so on and so forth. So magnesium is actually absolutely crucial for making sure that our neurotransmitters work well. It can boost our performance. It prevents problems like migraine. It's anti-inflammatory. It helps to fight depression. It's got many other benefits. So I really recommend you consuming magnesium as a supplement and making sure you have these kind of foods. And really all of these things combined will support what's called neurogenesis. So what I'm essentially saying here is that magnesium can actually make you smarter. It can enable you to look after existing brain cells because it fights depression, it reduces stress, it makes you calmer and more peaceful, and helps to regulate your mood and so on. And it will give you the kind of energy and the kind of focus required to essentially learn new things, challenge yourself, be more positive, take part in new experiences, and these sort of things combined lead to neurogenesis, which is the creation of new cells, new neurons in the brain. So what I'm saying here is that magnesium will actually make you smarter if you consume it sufficiently on a daily basis. So if you like what you heard in this video and you want to know more, make sure you head to my website at www.alexgem.com, and I'll see you there.